This is for you, Albert. Hello. We have 2 podcasts going on in this house at once. Isn't that nuts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, what is is
Weird
Brian...
Things After Show. After Things is wrapping up. I don't know if he's actually still going or not. We are about to rock. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Oh, they're doing great. Roger hit himself. He's not going to say anything else till afterwards. Anything else going on before we get rolling?
No.
Are you reading A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet?
I am.
What are you thinking of it?
It's fun. I got to read faster and more.
Me too.
I should have done the audiobook. This was a mistake. But I had the book already.
I was thinking of reading. I was thinking I shouldn't have done the audiobook the other day because I was in a position where I couldn't make noise and I didn't have my headphones near. And I'm like, if I had the ebook or if I had done Whisper Sync. But when you buy the audiobook first, you can't go do Whisper Sync anymore, can you?
Yes, you can.
Or you can't get the discount. That's what.
Yeah.
You just wasted your credit.
But I'm not on Kindle. I'm on a paper book. So I can't Whisper Sync with that, unfortunately.
Yeah. What's up with that, Amazon? Come on. Get that Whisper Sync working for printed books.
Where is that
So
feature?
you open the book and it just flips to the page where you were listening.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing. Get a robot for that.
Bought that stuff up.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do... That's kind of wonky. You could do a thing where it tells you what printed page to turn to, I guess. Like on your phone. Right?
Yeah. It depends on which edition you have, though.
Well, usually when they're new, there's only 1 or 2 editions, but you're right. You'd have to go through a lot of trouble. I have this edition, this printing. Whistle says, both my wife and I tied our Audible accounts to the Amazon Echo, so now I find myself tied to the Echo to listen to her books. Because he doesn't want to buy them again.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, well, let's get rolling, shall we?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Daily Tech News Show is powered by its audience, not outside organizations. To find out how you can help power the show, visit dailytechnewsshow.com/support.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, May 8th, 2017. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me, Veronica Belmont is here amidst the land of bots.
Yes, that's where I live.
Living tall amongst them. I imagine you surrounded by very small minion-sized robots.
Tiny little nanobots everywhere.
Yeah. How's it going there over in Botland?
It's good. Good. Weather's nice. Bots are friendly. It's a good place to be. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not going to talk about bots in our main topic today. Instead, we're going to talk about a new technique that can turn pretty much anything into a touchscreen. Not even a touch screen. Screen's the wrong word. Touch sensor. You could add touch controls to anything.
Touch interface, yeah.
Yeah, including play-doh.
The future is amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Let's start with a few tech things you should know. Comcast and Charter have agreed on a wireless partnership to share technology and work together in vendor negotiations, agreeing not to make any wireless mergers or acquisitions for 1 year without the other's consent. So
that
it's a
sounds
partnership.
like a nice partnership, yeah.
Or collusion, depending
on your perspective. On John Oliver's Last Week Tonight program on Sunday, he urged viewers to express opposition to the U.S. FCC Chairman Ajit Pai's net neutrality plan. The FCC website crashed afterwards, and the FCC says it was subject to multiple distributed DOS attacks, denial of service attacks.
So I don't know if Oliver's fans did the DDoS or if that just happened accidentally, but it wasn't the number of complaints that brought it down, at least according to the FCC.
Yeah. Yeah. Later. We'll talk about that later.
Facebook took out full-page ads in several UK newspapers Monday, giving readers advice on how to spot false news stories in the Facebook news feed. The UK will hold its general election June 8th, so they're trying to get ahead of that.
That's good.
Yeah. Now, here are some more top stories. Comcast launched an update for customers with the XFi wireless gateway. That's about 10 million customers out there. Or the XFi Advanced wireless gateway. That is newer, so they don't have as many customers. But in both, they will bring modern networking features and cloud administration. So users will be able to administer their router from a web dashboard, or they can get an iOS or Android app. In fact, if they have the X1 box, they can use the voice remote to do some administration of their router. Customers can pause connectivity by device. Parents can set dark times for kids' devices, for instance. You can get notifications when new devices access the network. That way you're sure that only the devices you want accessing it are accessing it. You can create profiles and, of course, do all the things like change the network name, the SSID, change the password, etc. Comcast has also invested in a company called Plume, which makes mesh network extenders similar to like Eero and those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Comcast is going to release its own version of those called the XFi Pods later this year. I don't know if Pods is actually the final name of it, but they're calling it that in the press release.
So this is like Comcast is like kind of getting up to speed with technology.
Yeah, close to it. I mean, the mesh networks are coming later this year, but giving users a customer-friendly way to manage their routers, I think, is incredibly important. It's one of the biggest advantages of these new routers like Eero.
And it's especially great because it kind of demystifies a lot of this technology and a lot of these settings. Like this kind of stuff was, pretty user unfriendly for many, many, many years. And being able to go in at the router level and decide which devices can connect hasn't been super easy. But this sounds like a really user-friendly way of enabling that.
And it's important because one of the reasons that routers get compromised and then turn into botnets is because people don't know how to go in and keep them updated.
Right.
Now, granted, if you're renting a router from Comcast, Comcast should keep it updated for you. But this is just, a good way for people to keep on top of that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Harman Kardon has published some details about a forthcoming Cortana-powered smart speaker called Invoke. It's a cylinder, similar to the Amazon Echo, with a Cortana-like light ring at the top and 360-degree sound. It can make Skype calls and use all of Cortana's normal features. The device will ship this autumn with support on Windows 10, iOS, and Android.
So by the end of this year, we're going to have a very competitive smart speaker lineup. There's rumors Apple's going to have one. Obviously, we have lots of Amazon Echoes flooding the market. We've got the Google Home. I don't know. They haven't given us a price on the Cortana one, but being able to make Skype calls is a nice little feature that they can tick off the box. Even if you add phone calls through some kind of service to Echo or even Google Voice, if you're a Skype user, this is going to be the one that you want.
I mean, and just the ability to do Bing searches from anywhere in your home is just incredibly powerful.
Why do I hear some kind of
much searching
tone in
just
your
joking
voice?
It is good though. It is good.
It is good. It's very good. And the Bing search engine is not bad at all.
And you know what? More competition in this market is only going to be better for consumers.
Absolutely.
And we'll just drive the technology forward. I think that's really great.
Harman Kardon makes really good speakers. So arguably from an audiophile, this might be, there might be an advantage for that as well.
And I'm curious to see what the price point is going to be too, because the Apple device is already being kind of, the rumors are that it's going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense. Apple always makes everything really expensive.
I know. So. I just can't get excited about a Siri-based assistant device, hardware device. I just can't. I can't get excited.
I mean, Siri is in the Apple TV, but I feel like that's your entry point for me. I don't want to have to buy something else. Just make my Apple TV do all of those things already. Mm-hmm. Chinese ride-hailing company Didi Chuxing began rolling out an English language interface in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, hoping to pull in more tourists and international business travelers. Now, Didi has global ambitions, but this is trying to get English speakers familiar with their service when they are traveling to China. The app also now supports real-time text translations between drivers and passengers. That's handy. And English language support by phone and email. So if you have a problem, you'll be able to talk to someone in English if that is your language of choice.
Awesome. Very cool. Oh, man, I feel like they're just going to show up in the States and just destroy everything.
Really? You think that Didi is gonna come and just drive Uber, get it? Uber out of business?
I saw something funny today, speaking of Uber. I was walking to work and an Uber autonomous vehicle stopped at my intersection, and it stopped like perfectly at the stop sign, and we were about to cross, and then an actual Uber driver pulled out from behind it into oncoming traffic to go around it and cross through the intersection before it. Oh, no. And almost hit us. And I was like, ooh, I wish I had this on video, because this is like pro-autonomous vehicle.
Right there. That's what we're looking for autonomous vehicles for.
I was like, I cannot believe an Uber driver just tried to cut off an Uber autonomous vehicle and almost hit pedestrians.
He's just angry. He's like, he knows that thing's after his job.
Maybe. Yeah. Good point. All right.
But yeah, Uber, by the way, doing some autonomous vehicle testing up in Toronto now. So a lot of people making a big deal out of that because it's the first non-US based test for them. So they're moving globally as well. I think we are going to get global competitors in this space.
Mm-hmm. Microsoft's Panos Panay told CNET there's no such thing as a Pro 5 right now. He said, the no such thing part, we said right now. Microsoft will only come out with a new Surface Pro model when there is, quote, meaningful change, unquote, that, quote, makes a huge difference in product line, unquote. Panay says that isn't necessarily a hardware change. A rumored Surface Pro update might just be a Surface Pro 4 with a processor and spec refresh, for example.
Yeah, so Paul Thurrott and his team at Thurrott.com have been following this rumors about the Pro 5, and it turns out that maybe what they've been following is an upgraded Pro 4. And I get what Panay is saying, because a lot of people are confused that Microsoft makes hardware at all. And Microsoft has continually said, we just want to make flagship hardware to show people what can be done with the newer versions of our software. And then we let all the other manufacturers innovate and iterate on that. And so it makes sense that if you come out with a Pro 5, you would want it to do something entirely different and show like, hey, this is a new thing that you can do in this space. Although when he says it doesn't have to be hardware, I get confused. I'm like, well, but then it's just Windows 10, and that could be anything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've always been really impressed with the Surface Pro. I think it's a great piece of hardware. So, always updating the specs a bit can never hurt. Yeah.
But if you were looking for a Pro 5, you may not get a Pro 5. You may just get a Kaby Lake-based Pro 4.
Maybe not wait for that. Yeah.
It's just a name. It's just a name. Just look at the specs and you decide if that's for you. Finally, Google has an open source operating system out there called Fuchsia, based on its own Magenta microkernel. So it's not Linux. Now, Chrome OS based on Linux, Android based on Linux. This one, not. This is from the ground up, built by Google. It is open source. The OS arrived in August last year, but up until now has been command line only. So the news today is that there's a graphical UI called Armadillo. There's a good write-up about it at Ars Technica if you're interested. But essentially, it's card-based, kind of like the old WebOS from Palm in a way. And you do a lot of swiping of cards and grouping cards together by type, and have the most recent apps on a card. It's very much for phone and tablets, though they say it could work on a PC. The Magenta microkernel documentation says that Google is targeting modern phones and modern personal computers with fast processors, non-trivial amounts of RAM, with arbitrary peripherals doing open-ended computation.
Non-trivial. Can't be trivial.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to look at this and say, that's what Google needed, another operating system, as they continually work to put Android apps on Chrome OS.
Certainly their segmentation is not an issue.
Yeah, but I don't know that this is meant to replace either one of those. It could be just a way to trial new metaphors, new graphics, new ways of doing things. Or maybe they're thinking of switching Android over at some time to an entirely different kernel. I mean, they switched their engines on the Chrome browser a while back. It would be slightly disruptive, but you start these projects with the idea of seeing what comes out of them, right? So yeah, for those of you who are interested in weird OSs, and I know there are plenty of you out there, you might want to check it out. Look it up, Fuchsia, Fuchsia. Hey folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, be sure to subscribe to our other show, dailytechheadlines.com. You can get it as a podcast. You can get it as a podcast. You can also get it on the Amazon Echo as your flash briefing and get it in the Anchor app at anchor.fm.
You can get it as a flash briefing?
Yeah, you can get it as, you should set it as your flash briefing.
Whoa. Is it you?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
You should do it right
I'm going
now.
to do it. I'm going to do it right now.
That, my friends, is a look at the top stories. All right, let's talk about Electrick, spelled Electrick, like trick. The Electrick, from researchers at Carnegie Mellon.
Boogaloo?
It is a system, yes, but spelled some way that's different, right? Small electrodes are attached to the edges of a conductive surface. Now, the most common surface you'll see them demonstrate is a surface painted with conductive spray paint, carbon conductive paint. It's kind of the thing sometimes you do to shield things from outside electronic interference. This uses the carbon conductive paint to carry electricity. You could also use Velostat, which is a thin material. You could use carbon-loaded ABS, which may not mean anything to most of you, but those of you who have 3D printers, it means you could 3D print an object that could then become touch sensitive. Conductive silicone works. They did it with Jell-O, apparently. It can conduct enough electricity. They did it with play-doh. Yeah. But the way it works is a touchscreen, any touchscreen, like on your tablet, shunts a bit of electric current to ground, and then it detects that interruption and figures out where your finger is. Carnegie Mellon PhD student Yang Zhang and a few colleagues figured out how to localize that using a set of electrodes. So you have pairs of electrodes around the perimeter of the object, and they send a small current into the surface. Voltage is measured at the other electrodes, and when a finger touches, the voltage goes down. Then, this is the trick in Electrick, the current is rotated to give a mesh of different measurements. So it comes from let's say the electricity comes from the bottom electrodes and it's measured. Then it comes from the side electrodes and it's measured. Then it comes from the top electrodes and it's measured. This is oversimplification, and it happens so fast that it can do it while you're touching, and it's able to use tomographic reconstruction to plot where your touch is happening on whatever surface that you've got. So they're showing this thing off. They painted a guitar with conductive paint and made the guitar touch sensitive, so you could just slide like a whammy bar on the surface of the guitar. They did it with a steering wheel. They did it with a desk where they could just put down icons for things on an actual wooden desk that was covered with the spray paint, and you could just touch the picture on the actual desk and launch things on your computer. You could do it with walls. They have one demonstration where you like touch a wall and it turns on your light just because you're touching a particular point on your wall. So they'll be showing this off at the Conference on Human Factors and Computing Systems in Denver, which is going on now through May 11th. And this fascinated both of us, I think, right?
Yeah, it really reminded me of DuoSkin, which was the project that came out of MIT's Media Lab a while back. I think they actually maybe talked about this on the show. That was a fabrication process that allowed you to do touch controls on skin with touch input, displaying output, wireless communication, and it's all in this metallic type tattoo material. That is, it's not actually tattoo. It just looks like
it was a topical, like temporary.
Yeah, it was topical. Thank you, like temporary tattoos. But I have seen things that were actual tattoo ink that people are thinking of, which I think is amazing. Amazing.
Like carbon conductive paint in your skin?
Yes. That would be rad. Are you kidding me?
But think about this. So we could turn our skin into a touch screen. We could turn our clothes. We've talked about clothing that can be touch sensitive. And now with these guys, granted, this is not out of the lab yet. They're just presenting it. But go watch the video at Yang Zhang's blog. It's impressive. And if this becomes a standard thing, I mean, right off the bat, we had a music teacher in our analyst Slack who said, the play-doh thing already has my mind running about things I could do in an educational setting.
I just want to use Play-Doh as like a digital interface for like making music and stuff. And so if you just want to like push it, it would like do like certain notes, like
squeeze ahead,
squish. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be very relaxing.
The one they showed in the video is a snowman. And then what they showed was you can map. It showed the mapping. So you press the nose and you long press while you've highlighted what you want it to activate. And then, pressing the nose says, ouch, that's my nose, or something like that. But you could do that with anything. You could make any kind of model. So yeah, you could make like a Play-Doh keyboard. You could make a Play-Doh tree that played music, whatever you want.
Oh my God, my mind just went to a bad place.
Dirty place.
It went to a Rule 34 place, but anyway.
That's why Rule 34 exists, because with any advanced technology, someone will figure out how to turn it into something dirty.
Yes.
But this whole thing. I mean, the other thing that caught my eye was the 3D printed objects, where you can print out an object that would be touch sensitive. And again, they printed out a Yoda model that when they touched its head, it said Yoda quotes. But I'm curious what people out there who play with this kind of stuff would turn into a touch sensitive object, which, you could control quadcopters with, you could just print out your own controller and have touch sensitivity on it.
Yeah.
Steering wheels where you could, honk by just tapping instead of actually building in a.
Imagine, so I was, oh gosh, I can't remember the name, but they're doing like headshot photography at our work today, and the photographer has these little like elements, like modular like control elements that he can plug into each other, and so he can program them to be like, this is a button that means like this photo is not going to make it to the final cut. This button means like this is a yes photo, so he can just program them to be whatever he wants. But imagine not even needing to have those little devices and just being able to print it out on paper and have that be your interface, or having a piece of wood that's painted with this touch sensitive ink and be able to program it for whatever you need it for that day.
Yeah.
Like that's really, like, that really breaks down a lot of cost barriers for like creating like hardware software integrations.
You can customize any surface. Suddenly you just need stickers to change the surface, or you could just print them out on a piece of paper and put them on the whatever surface that you're using.
Yeah.
Now, granted, everything that you use has to have the electrode interface on it. So that's part of this system that isn't easy to replicate. And it has to have a connection. So whether it's connected to a transmitter that's Bluetooth or whether it's just plugged in directly, that's part of whoever brings this to market is going to have to figure out that part of it. But that said, I mean, the Play-Doh demonstration that they showed just was a circle that you put the Play-Doh snowman on. So apparently they've figured out some interfaces where you just add touch-sensitive things to a base, and then the electrodes on the base are able to read where the touch happens.
Yeah. I'm excited about this. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that can be done using this technology.
Well, if you want to read up more about it, TechCrunch has a good write-up at it, or you can go to yang.zhang.me, that's yang-zhang.me, and find his research on Electrick. Or if you happen to be going to the Conference on Human Factors and Computing Systems in Denver, you could actually see it in action.
Nice.
Thanks to everybody who participates in our subreddit and helps us find these cool stories. Keep them coming, folks. Vote on them. Submit them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. Got some messages before we're out of here today. Norm said, hey, Tom, you mentioned your Patreon-only post last week, as you do from time to time, and I wondered why I didn't see it. I assumed it was going to my spam filter, but when I searched there, I didn't find anything. I looked on the Patreon settings, and lo and behold, all of my email notifications were unchecked. I'm not sure if this is by default or I did this myself, but I thought I'd send this out so folks can check to see if they're getting them. Yeah, if you're not getting your email alerts about Daily Tech News Show posts, you might want to take a look. He says, in addition, you mentioned a shout out to the 3-year contributors, and I'm pretty sure I've been contributing since close to the beginning, and I didn't see my name there. It was 3-year anniversary, and I will word it better next time, but it was only people who had hit 3 years in May that are listed in that post. Thank you, Norm.
And then we had an email also from Ian that said, Tom, Ian here from, you know what the weather is like in Canada. In the last show, 3024, you quickly mentioned that you would like an app that put all of your messaging apps into one. BlackBerry Hub does that. You can get it from the Play Store. I use it for SMS, all my email accounts, Telegram, Facebook Messenger, BBM, WhatsApp, direct messaging on Instagram, and it also does call history. It's been really nice having everything chronologically listed in one app instead of jumping around icons. I find it really handy when I forget what a message came from or where a message came from. You just go into the hub and they're all listed in order. Freaking love the show, Ian.
This is fascinating. Thank you, Ian, for sending that. It didn't say SMS or anything in the description, but he says that it seems to just integrate with whatever SMS client you're using on the device. So that may be why they don't put SMS. It's just drawing it in and out of the operating system. But it is pretty darn close to that unified device that I was talking about, where you just don't have to know where someone's sending you something. That's great.
That is great.
And then finally, we got an email here from Satya S. in Roseville, California, parentheses, bright and sunny. Good to hear. I was listening to Friday's show about passwords, and I have a tip for people who speak more than one language. My mother tongue is Tamil, and I use both Tamil and English words in my passphrase, or sometimes only Tamil words. In English, it looks like some jumbled up characters, but it makes sense to me, and it's easier to remember. And you know, like I said, it's all about speed bumps. Obviously, if somebody comes at you with a Tamil dictionary attack, you're screwed. But the chances of that are fairly low. Like Tamil is probably one of the last dictionaries some hacker is going to try when they're attacking you.
Well, it wasn't until now.
Until now. No, exactly. That's how that starts. But yeah, I don't know that I would do this with Spanish if I'm a Spanish speaker, because Spanish is a fairly common language. But if you speak a very uncommon language, mixing the words together might be a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. Or, just password manager it up and go for completely random.
Yeah, that's actually what Bart was recommending on Friday's show. Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, you can do them both too.
Well, phrases are, I think they're proven to be as secure as randomized.
Yeah,
letters.
We talked about it Friday, and there's some stipulations to that, but in general, yeah, with a couple of tweaks, you can make them super, super secure.
Right.
Well, thank you, Veronica Belmont, as always. What you got going on these days to tell folks about?
Oh, the usual bot stuff. You can subscribe to my newsletter over at botzine.org to check out Botzine, the latest and greatest from bots and AI in the week that was. I just made up that tagline. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
we're not yet an Alexa skill, but maybe I should work on that.
Yeah.
And then if you want to see what else I'm working on, swordandlaser.com, growbot.io. Those are all my big projects. And me and Tom are going to be at BayCon over Memorial Day weekend. So if you're going to be at BayCon, if you like fantasy stuff, come check it out.
It's not bacon.
Not
although
bacon.
I imagine the hotel would serve you bacon. It's BayCon. It's in the San Francisco. Oh, now I'm blanked.
Marriott, Airport Marriott?
Yeah, Airport Marriott. It's in the San Francisco Marriott. So if you're in the San Francisco area, go to baycon.org, BAYCON.org. Check it out and come join us. We'll be there. We'll be doing Sword and Laser. We'll be interviewing James S.A. Corey. It's going to be a blast. So you have no excuse. Come meet us.
Yes.
Hey, thanks to everybody who gives a little value back for the value they get from this show. In addition to the value you get from this show, if you do sign up to back us on Patreon, we've got different perks for different levels. You heard me mention that I was talking to Miss Music Teacher in our analyst Slack. If you support us at $1 an episode, $20 a month, you get access to the Slack where people are in there trading ideas and talking about stories, and I pop in there and other hosts pop in there. So you can sign up for that. If that's too rich, I understand. Not everybody's got $20 to spare every month. There are other perks at the other levels, including that weekly update, the monthly update, and a special roundtable show, which this month's version will be posting later this week. So check it out, patreon.com/DTNS. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We're live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 2030 UTC at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. We're at facebook.com/dailytechnewsshow, and our website is dailytechnewsshow.com. Back tomorrow with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Now, Zoe brings bacon. There's nothing wrong with bacon. We were just clarifying that bacon is not necessarily about bacon.
Not the same thing. That's right.
We were not in any way disparaging bacon or anyone who brings bacon.
Nope.
Because you are very welcome. We love it. Well, what should we call this thing? Touchy subject.
Well, that's funny. That's cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
Jellotricity. Oh, there's Roger.
I like touchy subject.
Can't hear you, Roger. He will restart, I'm sure. Goodbye. Come back. I like touchy subject too.
I'm like, here's my neck because I'm sitting up straight now.
Oh my gosh, we can't see your face.
It's a very low chair.
Not bacon. Daily Touch news show. Nice.
Can touch this?
Can touch this.
Yes.
Instead of can't touch this. Got it.
No more untouchables, jellotricity.
Mm-hmm.
Electric paint, what could possibly go wrong? A lot of things.
A lot of things.
It's touch anything. Microsoft's Glacial Profiving. Profiling.
Glacial profiling?
Profiving.
Where is this one?
From ICU.
Microsoft's Glacial Profiving. It's working hard, ICU.
Yes.
We appreciate the effort.
Touched by an OS. I don't want to be touched by an OS. Ouch, that's my nose. The world at your fingertips. Unless you don't have fingers. Touch the world. I sing the play-doh Electric. It's a throwback to
the play-doh Electric.
To fame. Not bacon. Go FCCyourself.com.
Nah.
Yeah. Some binging speakers. Electric paint is the new black.
I like touchy subject.
Yeah, touchy subject is good.
It's the runaway winner.
It's running away.
I just think like I could have a touch screen on this desk and get rid of everything.
You could.
Like get rid of the keyboard, get rid of the soundboard. I don't know if I'd get rid of the mixer because the mixer is analog, but I could go to a digital mixer. And then
you're just talking about getting a new interface. You'd still need one of those to.
Well, I could make the mixer be in the computer. I could make the soundboard be in the computer. There are benefits to not doing that, though. You're right. I see a surface and I want to paint it touch sensitive.
It would also be black because that's the color of the touch-sensitive material.
You see that carbon conductive paint is always black.
So I'm wondering how durable it is.
Both ways because the paint is also black.
You need to make it durable enough so you can use it every day and not have it rub off after a week.
It's really durable, so it won't rub off in a week.
And what if there are environmental concerns? If it's carbon, and it rubs off into dust.
There are environmental concerns because it is carbon.
Have you ever thought of just singing in order? Like you go up to a
fast food restaurant? Have you ever thought of singing in order at a fast food restaurant?
Do you sing in the bathroom while you're sitting on the can?
Do you sing in the bathroom when you're sitting on the can? I do not.
Because it'd be really easy to identify you if you just open the door and you hear singing.
Okay, I'm done now.
Okay.
At least you're
That's
not doing the what's the five-ol thing you used to do on the set on Texas.
Oh my God, you remember that?
Yes, I remember everything. I have a long.
Somewhere out there.
Oh my God.
I used to do
Where
I
has
used to
Veronica
drive
gone?
Roger crazy. Someone's thinking of me and loving tonight.
I don't know if I'm entertained or frightened or both.
No, you should be right because it would encourage Patrick to do that cartoon voice he does.
Oh, yeah. His little squeaky voice. I'll get him to do that on Friday. He's going to be on the show on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All
And
right,
you guys
I
can
gotta.
mash it all up.
Cool.
What? You're done singing? You have to go?
I gotta go. It's picture day. I gotta go get my face on.
Picture when it sounds like school.
It is.
Class
Yeah.
photo
Is
day.
this for the yearbook?
Yes, and I have to pee really bad. I had to
Make
work.
sure you
I had
look off
a lunch
camera.
beer.
All right, fine.
Look off to
That
the
second
center
one I can't
corner.
argue with at all.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Horretained.
Oh, horror-tained. Yes.
Horrortania.
That's horrortainment. Yeah. I'm sad that she had to go.
Kind of relieved too.
Well, no, not at all. I'm sort of fascinated in what singing might have happened next.
Oh, I've seen it all already.
Well, I know I have to, but
You get Veronica tired enough, and eventually all sorts of funny things start happening.
yeah. That's why you need to come to Baycon, folks. You just don't know.
You don't know. I can't because I have a child and wife.
You
And
also
I have
don't
to
live
go-
in San Francisco.
Well, then I have to visit my folks with my kid,
Mhm.
with their grandkids.
That's Memorial Day weekend, yeah. But if you're not leaving town and you live in San Francisco,
or in the
that's
Bay
Memorial
Area.
Day
They don't
weekend.
have to live in San Francisco.
True, you don't have to live in the city of San Francisco, just near the bay, within driving distance.
Yeah, even if it's on the dock.
Although you could fly in. You could fly in because it's right there at the airport.
It's flying.
I'm not saying you, Roger. I'm saying
No. I'm just thinking in general. It's like, is it something people fly in for? It's one
Why
of
not?
those
You
ones.
if you get one of those saver fares or something.
Hawaii Bacon. We'll
You
check
can do
calendar. It's at the end
both.
of the month, folks.
Yes,
Check it out.
Memorial Day weekend.
No, you don't have to live on the dock of the bay. Although, if you have a vessel docked at the bay, it could also be quite convenient.
You could take the boat to Baycon.
Yes, because it's by the water,
Yeah.
next on the water.
I don't know where the nearest marina would be.
Well, you
It's
really
not
just
far.
need a place to moor and then take like a
Yeah.
little skiff or a kayak.
I don't
Or
know
swim.
that the airport Marriott allows skiffs. It might.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. The bay gets kind of touchy around that area. That's why
Yeah.
pilots hate it.
You don't want pilots landing on boats.
No.
Can you look up baycon.org though and make sure we got Marriott right? Because we keep saying Marriott and I want to double check that.
Macon. San Mateo.
Right.
May
That's
26th to the 29th. Hold on. You know, they should put the address here. Gosh darn it. Un momento. Aha. Writer. No. Welcome. Hotel. Here it is.
Yeah, the hotel part.
San Mateo Marriott San Francisco Airport.
Boom. Got it right. Okay.
And
good.
the Baycon rates are $139 a night.
Well, yeah, it's by the San Francisco airport. BioCal's like, wait, is it in San Mateo or San Francisco? It is in San Mateo at the San Francisco airport.
Yes. San Mateo is a county. Oh, no.
Isn't it a town, too, isn't it?
Yes, it's both. But no.
When your whole world is black. Now I have painted black for real.
That song only reminds me of that CBS show called Tour of Duty, because that was the theme song to the opening.
Oh, was it?
Do 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 do.
Touchy subject. A little chum.
What are you, Batman? Or Adam West Batman?
That's a Looney Tunes reference, I think.
Wait,
Thought you outsmarted me, a little chum.
Wait, who said that? I'm trying to think of the Looney Tunes character.
It's a villain.
Oh.
I think he's after Bugs Bunny. I could be totally remembering this wrong. Or it could be
For some
after
reason,
Daffy
when you
Duck.
said that little chum, I was thinking of. So remember when the Pink Panther used to be a cartoon back in the day?
Oh yeah, that's
And
how
they-
I think of Pink Panther.
But then they inserted like a in between cartoon
Oh yeah, it's Bugs Bunny.
with
Hair
the shark.
conditioned.
with the shark and the little goldfish, and the shark went swimming around with like a tuxedo vest and a top hat.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he used to say, didn't he used to say chum? But he talked with like an Eastern European or German accent.
Yeah, chum used to be a more common word back.
Gotcha. He would say gotcha. He's always chasing after the flounder.
Are you excited about the Tick coming to Amazon?
I saw the one that they were showing, the pilot episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, the writing wasn't great, so you know, if the writing gets better, I could totally be into it. But as it was just okay on the pilot.
Yeah.
Man, and I breezed through. Not Kung Fu Fighter, Iron Fist. What an excessive number of episodes for that show.
Yeah, I slept through large portions of that, and I still don't feel like I missed anything.
You could cut the number of episodes in half and tell the exact same story. And actually make it a little more interesting, because then the pacing would be faster.
Totally.
Wow, that's like, man, it's like, really? That's it? And it's only his one fist? It's not both? Something. I mean, they had
Wait,
to...
was that... But I never read the comics, did you?
No, I read one or two. That, I mean, it is the one fist, but
It's
really,
always
I
the
mean,
one
come
fist.
on.
Okay.
You rebooted everything else. Why don't you just make it all his, you know...
Well, but then people would complain like, oh, you changed the character.
Well, they changed Jessica Jones. I mean, not a lot, but they did. So they changed Luke Cage and Daredevil.
Did they change their powers, though?
No, probably not. But
'Cause
they
that's the thing.
I mean, Luke Cage is not supposed to be bald, or shaved
Yeah,
headed.
but that's different than changing his actual how the powers work. Having him have two fists would be a fundamental.
I
change to the
thought
character.
Jessica Jones could fly too. Maybe
Maybe she'll get that power later. Aw, Chris Farrell called us a podcast inspiration.
Oh,
Nice. Thank you, Chris Farrell.
everyone down. Ooh, that's the other place I need to visit. Farrell's. Because they have one down here. Where is it?
So in last Friday's pre-show, we were talking with Len Peralta about banks that had third bank.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got an email from Sonia, who sent us a picture of Fifth Third Bank, which makes it look like, because they use the fraction 5-3 in the logo, that they're not the third bank, but they're the Fifth Thirds is the awkward name of the bank.
Fifth Third Bank.
Yeah. But still,
Wait,
thank
so
you,
it's
Sonia, for saying
it's
that.
the fifth number of the third bank, or
No, it's like
5/3.
5/3 bank. It'd be like naming the bank Half Bank, but then that wouldn't sound very good because half sounds like you're not getting all the bank. So now you're getting more than a full bank. You're getting 5/3 of a bank.
So does that mean my interest rates are better in my savings account?
Yeah, maybe that's what that's trying to imply. Also, Shannon wrote in with it said that our pre-show discussion on Friday's show reminded her of a song when we were talking about "Don't Put Your Trash in My Trash Can." She sings the song whenever her trash can is full. I like that people are writing in about the pre and post show, though. That's awesome.
It means people are listening.
And we're saying things that you're listening to. Alrighty. Well, we are out of here. Thanks, everybody, for listening and for supporting us on Patreon. And we love you the most. We'll be back with the Frenchman tomorrow and see how he feels about his French election. Goodbye, everybody.